evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the. Oh, that's so strange. We got the. Had a bit of an echo there. I apologize. I don't know what was going on there, guys. Hey, welcome to it. It is Monday night, and we let everybody know in advance that Monday is the new day. It's a new season, and we moved from Fridays to Mondays. So we all thank you for being here. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to discuss the mystery of the Skinwalker Ranch. Demons, aliens, portals. I did some digging. I think many are going to be surprised with what I dug up. Very interesting stuff here, folks. And we're going to get into that very shortly. So I appreciate it. Hey, people are loving the beard. Thank you. It's difficult growing it in, guys, because I don't have a lot of facial hair. So I'm trying to grow a little bit of facial hair, guys. And I appreciate the love and support. Guys, if you're new here, welcome to the Reveal Report. What do we discuss here? Well, everything supernatural, paranormal, fringe, occultic, esoteric, things that make you go, what is going on? You wonder. And we're proud to have some of the amazing people that are supporting this channel, all of you that are here today. So give us a follow and a subscribe. And guys, check us out on social media. We're on Telegram, we're on Twitter, Instagram. And it's an amazing month of November. Maybe, I'm going to go out on a limb here. It's maybe the biggest month the Reveal Report has ever had with the amount of guests that are going to be here. And it's going to be amazing. Again, Mondays, new season every Monday. God bless you and thank you. And on that note, let me share the November schedule with everyone. All right, here we go. Let's run it down. Monday, November 4th, tonight, Miss Jessie Czebotar is going to be with us as we discuss Skinwalker Ranch. This Wednesday, November 6th, the election results with Kim Goygan. Kim Possible, also known, is going to be with here today, Wednesday, and she's going to get into it and give us her overall opinion on what transpired, what's going on. Is she going to have any world news for us? It's going to be breaking, I'm quite sure. It's a very interesting time when she's on the show. So join us this Wednesday. The election results, Kim Goygan will be here. Monday, November 11th. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this guy. John Ramirez, ex-Satanist, Luciferian, who turned to our Lord and Savior Jesus to be saved, and now he's an evangelist speaking the gospel and giving warnings on what's happening. So do not miss John Ramirez, Monday, November 11th. This is huge, guys. He's a big guy. You guys know, it took me a couple of years to get him on here. Monday, November 18th, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to fasten your seatbelts. This woman is a former occultist to a degree and level I have not yet seen. Her family was in it, and she is going to blow your mind. She's going to talk about some of the rituals that she had to participate in, the breeding, getting up on her aspect. This is Satanism that she's going to discuss, the occult. It's going to be unbelievable. Ira Wolfenstein, and I'm going to say her name. I'm botching the last name. I apologize. So I'm just going to go with her first name. Ira will be here. I promise you this show will be unbelievable. Thursday, November 21st, P. Diddy News. We're going to give you an update and maybe get a lawyer on here to discuss what he thinks is about to transpire, because it seems like every few days it gets worse and worse for P. Diddy. We'll get into that. And then finally, Monday, November 25th, Gary Wayne is back. It's going to be huge. He's going to get into it. Of course, his new book is out, and it's going to be unbelievable. Jessie will be here on the Mondays with our guest as well to co-host and give her take on what's transpiring. And guys, again, November schedule, absolutely huge. Join us because it's going to be incredible. And of course, a special shout out going out to Miss Lisa M. Thank you, Miss Lisa. She contributes on PayPal every Monday to keep the show going. I was going to stick to just Patreon, and do the show exclusively for my subscribers, but I got to give her credit, guys, for you guys. She's like, no, we have to share this information with everybody. She says, God bless. Everybody needs to know what's going on, and she really supports the Monday show through PayPal. Thank you, Miss Lisa M. Give her a thank you in the comments below. All right, without further ado, let's bring my co-host, who's an author, many books on Amazon. I'm hearing rumors she's working on a new book as well. We'll ask her about that. Please welcome Miss Jessie Czebotar. Hey, Jess.
Hey, George. Yeah, it's true. Got a new book in the works, but also have a conspiracy theory for later tonight as we're talking. It might be the cure-all. I mean, maybe it's going to be a cure-all for skinwalkers. I've heard it would definitely be a cure-all for helping you grow that beard.
Ooh,
And
okay, all
maybe
right.
more.
I'm excited to hear about that. Well, I
Yeah.
think we're going to get right into it. Skinwalker Ranch. If you're new or don't know what Skinwalker Ranch is, let me play a little video, little context for you on what exactly is Skinwalker Ranch. And we're going to get into it. So turn up your volumes, take a look at this quick clip, and it'll give you a little context to Skinwalker Ranch. Here it is.
From UFO sightings to cattle mutilations, a ranch in the Uinta Basin has been home to numerous bizarre and terrifying events, and it's now the subject of its own TV series on the History Channel.
Yeah, well, tonight, News Specialist Andrew Adams has his own exclusive look inside the mysterious Skinwalker Ranch after a visit that proved to be a little out of this world.
It moves in quietly, and it looms over every empty space.
You get that sense that you shouldn't be here.
The dread that fills Skinwalker Ranch can be practically
Indescribable.
and it's usually only the beginning of something worse.
Poltergeist type stuff, UFO sightings, cattle mutilations. I had a mysterious bump that started to form on my head pretty rapidly. And over the course of a few days, my scalp completely separated from my skull.
For decades, locals thought the land was cursed.
A shapeshifter, it's a demonic being that can take on the shape of many different animals or the form of a human. And so really that's the legend of the Skinwalker.
Hey, we're coming in. Thanks for the heads up.
You got it. See ya.
Today, a new owner oversees the property, and he's hoping to find answers that are grounded in science.
Learning that Skinwalker Ranch was involved with a black budget Pentagon-funded study into not only the UFO phenomena, but other high strangeness was very interesting to me. Supposedly the site of more paranormal activity and high strangeness than anything else being reported in the country at the time. And over 4 years, we have recorded and documented phenomena that really defies all natural explanation. It could truly be, the greatest science.
So, a little introduction to Skinwalker Ranch before we begin to decode and get into stuff. Jesse, have you ever heard rumors about Skinwalker Ranch? What have you heard? What do you know about Skinwalker Ranch? Let's start with that.
I think the typical things that he was pointing out in the, in the video, particularly connections with, the black budget, the Pentagon funding, possible, things with aliens, the weird things that were happening to cattle around the area, and, again, the paranormal activity. So I think all of that stuff has been pretty well advertised about that area for quite a while now.
And I got to say, it's quite interesting, quite scary, the stories and rumors that we've heard, Jess.
Yeah.
I mean, they talked about cattle mutilation, paranormal activity, orbs being seen. I mean, really weird things. And for those that are even a little bit more interested, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. There's actually a series on the History Channel. And they really dive into it. More importantly, they go above and beyond and start to investigate surrounding locations or other locations similar to Skinwalker Ranch just to see what they have in common. I went down a pretty deep rabbit hole on this stuff, and it's very, very interesting stuff here. I reached out to a few people just to bring them on the show, but no one wanted to respond to come on. Found that interesting.
Yeah.
Again, Skinwalker Ranch. I originally heard about Skinwalker Ranch, I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago, from a gentleman, and we won't put too much onto it, but the name of the gentleman was Ted Gunderson. And he used to work in I believe the FBI Los Angeles department.
Special crimes, a lot of ritualistic crimes exploration and
that was
investigation.
His specialty. And I didn't even know about Skinwalker Ranch. I was a paranormal investigator until he really, some videos started popping up of him. And I'll say this. I spent a very long time trying to track that interview or that speech that he gave on Skinwalker Ranch. It is cleansed. It is cleaned off the internet. You cannot find it. If you find it, if anyone who's watching this broadcast could find that, email me, send me that video. I can't find it. There was a video, it was about 22 hours long. And I obviously didn't watch the whole thing. I was cutting it through. Nothing. It's been scrubbed. So the actual presentation he did on Skinwalker Ranch was gone. I think it's key, Jesse, about this very mysterious location. Maybe discuss, it's been purchased by somebody. And let's give everybody who's watching the show a little bit of information about maybe who this guy is, what he's about. Now, he does come from a lot of money. And there he is right there. And his name is Brandon Fogel. And he is the owner of Skinwalker Ranch. Now, Brandon Fogel is a very wealthy entrepreneur. And he collects movie memorabilia. Found that very, very, very interesting. And he's bought this to do research on it to see if there is some type of aliens among us, so to speak. He's fascinated with the supernatural and the paranormal. What is your thoughts on this owner? What have you heard of him?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think it seems like he's really into a lot of the different conspiracy theories, but I'm curious if there is any past connection, like if he's got access to more, because it just seems like, with the scope that he's looking at, especially like with the military side and, the Pentagon, it seems like there's something behind that. Like he's got more information there. And, I'm not sure of his full past or what his connections are coming forward, but I'm interested to see what he finds out. It certainly seems like he's got the money to bring in all these teams. I think we're going to find a connection with some of the different, for a better lack of the word, secret society connections. Like you get the Smithsonian, you get the History Channel. I think that those who do these special kind of documentaries that, there's just more to this guy's story than is coming out. That's what I think.
Well, he is a very interesting cat, that's for sure. And a lot of his money, it says he makes, he's an entrepreneur, but also on real estate. So he's into real estate development. The guy has money, and is he connected in some way to be involved in the supernatural, the paranormal? What is his... I wouldn't say.
I think he's. I mean, do you think he's purchased this ranch to kind of plow it down and build on top of the land, or you think he's going to forever keep it, maybe turn it into something entertainment, tourist?
I don't think that's the case. I think it's too dangerous overall, and we'll get into that before we dive into anything else. Let's what's a skinwalker? I think let's begin with that. I'm going to play a clip here so people can understand what a skinwalker really is. This should give a little bit of context to what we're doing. There are some investigators from the History Channel, and they with some, I guess, native police on the territory, and this is what they had to say. So take a look at this clip. It'll give you a little bit about what is a skinwalker. Here it is.
One of the things that we're really interested in learning about here is the history of skinwalker activity. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Navajos believe a skinwalker is?
The skinwalker is a shapeshifter. It's somebody who's offered themselves, so to speak, and they sacrifice somebody in their family that's very, very dear, very loved to them in order to attain this power.
When you say sacrifice, you mean kill them?
Kill them, yes.
Wow.
When this happens, then they're brought in to a group of people and they're taught how to do this shape-shifting. They'll use the skins of animals. They can change into any animal out there that they have the skin of. Once they do, they're able to run at incredible speeds.
So regular people, as well as law enforcement, have seen these things personally?
Most people out here have seen them.
Most people?
Yeah, and have had some experience
within
with
their
them.
families.
Within their families.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they don't talk about it.
You get that in the occult world too. Like, there's generational family lines that, they've served as protectors and individuals that are highly connected to the upper level elite. There's stories that, there's those that take that connection with that changeling spirit and they can turn into vampires or werewolves, and they make their vows at age 5 and then finalize those vows during a blue moon ceremony at age 21. So it's interesting that there's a lot of similar elements in the Navajo stories with these shapeshifters. In the system, I haven't per se heard that they have to have the skin of the animal to do it. Usually you see the wolves, the vampires, or, even the older generation, those, that were young in the 60s and 70s talk of reptilians.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, these creatures, these native creatures from the native culture, again, I found it fascinating that they have to, this is of their own will. They want to be a skinwalker. And to my understanding, they sacrifice someone in their family. And now they asked them in the show, when you mean sacrifice, you mean kill? And they said, yes. They kill and sacrifice someone in their family to gain some type of power. I guess it's some type of a ritual. And they gain this power and they're able to manifest, or some attachment, some demonic being or force, I guess, takes over their body and they're able to change. They wear skins of animals. They can run fast. They have supernatural powers. I mean, does this really exist? Is this possible, Jessie?
I think it is. I mean, you hear about it in the occultic system. There's a lot of stories about that, and there are individuals who've come forward claiming that they, have that, who've been delivered from those kind of, spirits. And in the system, the vow that they make with those spirits is considered an unbreakable vow. Yet, some of the individuals that I know, when I ask, like, how did you get free from that? They're like, I simply rebuked the spirit. And, you'd think, like, it's silly at times. You're like, why was that not my first conclusion in that? But that's, that's what happens. And they said that, they get like a lot of, I guess, like for me, even with the skinwalkers, you think like, is it an illusion? Is there a delusion that the spirit causes for those who are looking on that make it appear that way, but really it's just the person? Or does this changeling spirit have the ability to really transform and change their body? Those who have gone through it, they said really it changes their physical appearance, and they'll end up getting a lot of joint and ligament issues because of that. Because the tendons, the ligaments don't only have so much elasticity. And a lot of times that's pushed to the max. And the more times that they engage in that, the more issues that they have with their ligaments and tendons and different soft tissue muscles.
Wow. I mean, people have talked about this, and especially in different countries, not so much maybe North America, but you'll see it in like Africa, maybe India, other parts. I've seen videos of
Yeah.
weird people, that old culture, and they're walking on their all fours, and just very strange culture, and what happens in their ritualistic ways and their belief systems.
Or the reservations is a big place we hear about it too, you know.
I mean, I don't mess around with the natives. I'll tell you that. I believe they're very spiritual. One of the things I learned in the supernatural, in the paranormal world, was they're very spiritual people. There's the shamans. They're able to do things. Man, I could just tell you, it's a serious issue with locations that are haunted. The ground is very sacred and holy to them, and a lot of hauntings. A lot of hauntings sometimes have a lot to do with things being built maybe on native land, or curses that happened to locations and to people because they wronged someone in the native culture. I mean, it's a very ancient people. They've been around a very long time, haven't they, Jesse?
They have, yeah.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And people are asking, well, why Skinwalker Ranch? Obviously, there's got to be a skinwalker there. Well, I finally heard the actual description. What is the Skinwalker Ranch? Why did it get its name? Well, Mr. Farkle, the owner on the History Channel, gave a little description of how this place got its name. So I want you to take a listen to this next clip. Here it is.
Skinwalker Ranch really derived its name from a curse. The Skinwalker curse has its roots in a feud between the Ute tribe and the Navajo tribe. At a time when the Utes were really aligned with the United States government and had sold many of their peers into slavery. So the Navajo cursed this property. A skinwalker is essentially a witch that has chosen to put on the skin, essentially, or the form of what can only be described as a giant wolf. A skinwalker is something that exhibits superhuman agility and strength. Placing the skinwalker curse on this property made it a very real place to avoid.
What are your thoughts on that?
They gave a curse. That curse comes with a spiritual attachment that causes whoever sounds like particularly there, the witch doctor, whoever's connected to that, is going to be taken on that form of that wolf or whatever spirit they want to take the form of.
Yeah.
Do you think it's to protect the property, or?
I think they cursed that property and that land because, like they said, the Navajo, the other fellow tribes sold their own people, betrayed their own people into slavery and so forth, and give up the land, and they cursed the land. That's why we don't mess around with curses, folks. It's very serious business. And here it is. This is obviously a very old land. It's probably been there a long while, and there it is, still cursed. We're still seeing things, but what does that mean, cursed? Okay, there's a spirit maybe attached to it. However, that being said, there's other sightings. Now we're going to get deep here, Jesse. In the beginning, one of the things that was mentioned was black ops money. Black ops money.
Right.
Before we get into that, Jess, maybe you'd like to explain to everybody watching at home, what is black ops? What's black ops money?
Well, from what I understand, it's money that's going to come down through either the militaries or underground operation groups that are, basically paramilitary groups, and they're going to, use that money to funnel it towards certain projects, experiments, programs, different things that they're doing, that are connected with that. So.
Well, I got to say, it's very interesting. Again, this black ops money, it would mean that the government is somehow involved. This information is out there. It's there. Obviously, now it's coming out. Involved in what way? Why would the government, the United States government, or a branch of the government, invest any type of money into a paranormal location? What are they looking for? What are they trying to do? I'm going to play a clip here, Jess. I want you to hold that thought, and then we'll get your feedback on it. This is very important. A lot of people just think, oh, ghosts. But we have to dig here, folks. I'm going to play this. I'll let you all just judge for yourselves. We'll get your opinion just on this, but Black Ops, military, money, take a look at this.
1.6 is what they see at Skinwalker.
Correct. 1.6 gigahertz is an interstellar communication signal. Anybody on Earth who is a professional treats 1.6 as a privileged frequency that's only used for communication from Earth to space and space to Earth. The fact that we're seeing this transmission right now, when we were not seeing this transmission earlier, is significant. The only thing I can think of, these are radio frequencies that are available only to the military to co-op.
So it's almost as if it was being picked up and then rebroadcast to us on a military bandwidth.
On a bandwidth that's available only to the military. Holy, what is that?
But this isn't a civilian band, right?
It's not.
It sounded like some weird radio transmission.
This is outside of any AM or FM bands.
There should not be civilian radio traffic in this 1.6 gigahertz range. What the hell?
I don't know what this is. Is the space cannon still available to us?
Yeah, the space cannon is ready to go.
I feel like if we're seeing a signal on radio frequencies coming from space, let's fill up the sky with the strongest energy that we can fill it up with. Let's use a space cannon laser.
Let's do it. I'll turn it on.
Okay.
The laser space cannon is the brightest RGB colored laser in the world, powered by over 1 million milliwatts. In the right conditions, this laser can be seen from space.
Go ahead and ignite it.
Wow. Wow. Very cool.
Oh man, if that doesn't look like we're sending a signal, I don't know what does. If there is any kind of government or military, anything back there, they are not gonna appreciate that at all.
Nope. Cool.
Oh, Paul, check this out. What is this? Listen to this. We're at 730 megahertz.
So what's happening?
That's feeding back now. It's just going over and over.
Wait, so help me out. I'm not comprehending what's happening here. We are not transmitting that.
We are not transmitting that. We are picking up the signal.
That is being reflected back to us.
That's being sent back at us. What this is telling me is that if we are not broadcasting on 730 megahertz, somebody is listening to us and the reflection back to them is carrying at 730 megahertz.
And we're able to pick that up.
And we're able to pick that up.
What? Seriously?
That's not comforting at all. Now, I will say,
sir,
that is not Skinwalker Ranch. That was another ranch who had the same gigahertz in their communication. And I found it to be interesting because, again, this series on History Channel really dives deep into Skinwalker, and then they take it to a whole new level. It's the secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and then it branches out on the History Channel. I highly suggest everyone take a look. But here's the question, Jess. Who was listening to them?
I know. I was curious because you've done a lot of the studies with the paranormal, the equipment. You know, is it the military listening to them? Is it, you know, something paranormal? Whatever it was letting them know that it's there, that it's listening, you know. But I don't know. I'm curious about your thoughts on that, especially like if you can share, like, you know, what you were seeing there that they were presenting versus like the communication equipment that they use with paranormal, you know, activity. And do you think it was paranormal versus military or something?
I do not think it's paranormal.
Okay. Why do you say that?
I because there's certain things that the supernatural could do and can't do. So this is something that is not in the supernatural realm, at least like a ghost, to be certain, or let's say a demon. This is intelligent to a whole degree. So it's one of two things. And, just my opinion, it's military. The military is involved in some way, shape, or form. Or it's some type of, whether you believe it or not, some type of alien communication. Some type of super intelligent life force being that is hearing this and is broadcasting it in some way. They're listening to the conversation. The good money is on the military.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm banking the bucks on. I think it's the military,
I believe it's military. But all these clips are chosen for a reason. Why do I play them? When do I play them? I'm trying to give you guys lots of context here. And bear with me as we go through the story. So there is supernatural and there was paranormal. The military decided to spend some money on this location, finding out why there's so much supernatural. Is it just a curse, or is there more to it? Now they're hearing frequencies and other languages, or something is listening to what they're saying. This is highly intelligent, very high in a technical term. It is not a ghost per se at that point in time. I dug something up. I'm going to play it for you. I want to see if you guys catch it, and then we might have a better understanding why specifically military are looking into this location, why everybody else is looking into this location. So I'm going to play this final clip. I want you all to take a listen here on what they say, because it's pretty interesting, and hopefully it helps you guys understand what I believe is going on. So take a listen. Here it is. Oh, is that it? I think this is it.
The data that was captured last night at the Triangle is absolutely unbelievable. We were looking at what appeared to be a massive cone-shaped anomaly that was supported by two pillars. One coming from Homestead 2, where we detected a 1.6 gigahertz frequency signal, and the other from the Eastfield Canyon, where in the past we've seen all kinds of UAP and energy phenomena occur. And what was really incredible is that the point of this cone was sitting right above the center of the triangle at 2,000 feet, which was the exact altitude where the path of our laser beam was being terminated during the experiment.
So
I mean, you got energy, you got funnel-shaped energy, kind of revolving around a cortex. I think that right there tells us it's not something supernatural, otherworldly. It's people who are monitoring, who are kind of dictating what happens in that area as people are coming in. But what do they got under there? Why have they kind of taken over the land,
I think all fingers point to one thing that I could only presume could be the situation. The one thing I've learned in the world of the paranormal or the occult, okay, is we've discussed ley lines and certain locations around the earth, whether they're energy forces, portals, star gates, but there seem to be gateways. Doorways, ladies and gentlemen, in different places around the world. No one knows for certain why those particular locations, but there is certain locations around the world with power. Most of those locations have military protection. Why? What's a stargate? What is a portal? Can things enter and leave the earth through these portals and doorways? Is this a portal or a stargate? Interesting enough, some of the biggest locations, for instance, did you know that the place that Jesus was born, in Bethlehem, there is a church there. And around that church, it is protected by the military. There's security there. Why? Why would you need that?
There is a gate there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a portal. And there's other locations with portals and gateways, which we've discussed. So I believe that there was some paranormal activity at Skinwalker Ranch. I believe there is a curse. I will truly believe. But I also believe that from that and their investigation to understand why it was so strong is that there is probably a portal or gateway at Skinwalker Ranch. And that's why the military and so many scientists are so indulged in it, because they're always looking at breaking through. Are you ready? Breaking through the firmament. What is out there? What is happening? What's going on? How do we get to the other side? And they'll stop at nothing, I believe, because that intel will give them power. Is it a portal, Jesse? What are your thoughts on my theory?
I think it could be very plausible. I think the fact that, their stories, even I think some of the story goes back to more of the truth, that they talked about, one native tribe that was working with the government to sell some of their fellow tribesmen into slavery. So could there be some sort of bondage that is occurring there? Could there be projects or experiments or programs that the government is running that include people or special groups of people? Are they trying to, just put either things that ironically happen as they're doing these projects and experiments? Are they just trying to cover those up with these weird phenomenal stories? Um, I think even more concerning than that, George, though, is that if it's a supernatural area with a portal, are they in communication with beings from, the other side? And, could the things that are happening be part of, the demand that they have to pay for certain knowledge? Um, is that part of what's happening there?
Skinwalker Ranch, folks, there's a lot of mystery to it. We talked about, the cattle mutilations, orbs, ghosts. We heard that there's a curse. I get it. But there's something more. This location, there's something to this location. And it was a very wealthy real estate man who purchased it for a reason. Will the military, want to use this to contact other beings? Yes. Why not? Of course. Can they make a deal with maybe these other beings to give them knowledge and power and strength? Yes. Of course. That's the whole idea. Because if one country could do it, then they'll have something as an advantage over the others. I mean, every country would want their own power. I mean, if we want to get into specifics, Jesse, realistically, it's not really so much a country as it is a family that would run things. So I think that's key, but not so much important in this topic, because the idea is that this ranch, this location, may present a portal of communication with other beings, intelligent beings, to say, and they're trying to communicate. Of course. Now, if we look at the big machine, CERN, I think one of the ideas that it was created is not what they promote. I mean, they say they want to recreate the God particle. It's not happening. I believe from scientists, unless those scientists who have come forward and then passed away were all a jinx or a hoax, they say that that's not the case. And in fact, insiders say that they're trying to use that to open up doorways, portals, and gateways to communicate with other species, other beings, and possibly bring them into our realm. This is spooky stuff. What are your comments on that?
Yeah, I've heard not just bring them into our realm, but also, to be able to access other realms, particularly within the, the system. Their thought is that they are gods, and their whole agenda is to usurp heaven, usurp the throne of God. So are they trying to do it to, open some to bring in demonic armies, and then use those armies to, try to raid the heavenly areas? I think it's very plausible. That's been an agenda for a long time, I think.
Now, here's a great question from JF. Why should we believe anything that they say? Everything's a lie. You're right. That's why they said they were trying to redo the God particle, the creation particle, which we know that's not what it is. So they are lying, I believe, because what insiders are saying is no. They are trying to communicate with other beings. We've done a show on this. They're trying to bring in creatures or other species to maybe work with them. This is bizarre stuff.
Well, it's all the God particles all connected to the Voice of God project. That's, one of the major things that they are working on.
Well, it got shut down. CERN did get shut down.
Yeah, it did.
Funding is an issue as well, guys. Nothing is free. And I don't want to do the news part of my series on here, but let's just say that a lot of banks and the financial system is in trouble right now. So they don't have money to give away or burn, I'll promise you. So CERN is going to be the last place that's going to get a couple of $1 billion or a couple of $100 million to do experiments. It's a crazy time that we live in here, Jess. But what I find fascinating is all this supernatural and paranormal activity that's going on around us today. Skinwalker Ranch, I believe, is only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, that's not even the biggest of the big.
It's not the heavy stuff yet.
No, we're just scratching the surface. It's the beginning. It's a great start. It's a good place for us to look at. But I believe that whatever government op is involved, these people are so sophisticated, intelligent, and so advanced. I'm sure they have already contacted something else that's out there because there's a lot of information that's giving. I mean, we could go biblically with Gary Wayne and talk about the information that was given to these people by the fallen angels and the knowledge that was given to them. And are they still giving human beings knowledge? What are they doing to get that knowledge? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, if we don't decode it, I think, there's one word that describes exactly what they're doing to get that knowledge, and I think that revolves around satanic ritual. I think that the spirits they're contacting and the depth of knowledge that they want, those spirits, we're told even all the way back in biblical times, those spirits demand blood for the knowledge.
It's quite bizarre. They demand blood, sacrifices, rituals. There's more to this. I think they got their hands in every pot they could possibly catch or put their hands in to get that knowledge, to get that information. They want that edge. They want that ability to do things that are unthinkable. Biblically, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, they say in Revelation that time may return where we're going to see beasts of burden and creatures and animals and species and very weird things. Do you believe, just putting this out there, that these people, and I'm not going to give them a name, who knows who they are, but these people are trying to open up this portal, these doorways, to allow these creatures in, to usher in that time, the apocalyptic time that everyone talks about, the time of tribulation, to bring upon the Antichrist. Do you believe that there's a possible group that's pushing for this?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's been the agenda of that group for a long time. And, you nailed it when you said, what's all in, what does that agenda entail? It entails creatures, it entails, spiritual armies, as well as, biblical prophesied individuals like the Antichrist. So I think that that's exactly what their agenda is. And, are they building a secret army? Is that why some of these places, are made out to be so, horrific? They want to scare people. They want to keep people off the property. Are some of these covers for training centers that they have where they're trying to do just that, fulfill that agenda that they have that fits into, what we would call the book of Revelations in scripture and end time prophecies.
And it's funny how we go from Skinwalker Ranch all the way to this stuff, but there's always a connection, guys. I'm telling you, you have to connect the dots. I think that there are some people on this planet that would like to usher in those times because of their beliefs and then their belief system, they believe that the Antichrist will return and give them strength and power. But guys, come on, you should know better than that. He's a betrayer. He's a liar. He's a thief and a scam. He's going to turn his back on you. There's no human that is going to get Satan's love. You got to think if you're watching this.
Well, it's the lawless generation. That's what we're told. It's all part of that lawless generation. Those who absolutely refuse to return or turn back to God. You know, it says that what is the lawlessness? They love pleasure, self, and money more than they love God. And even through the tribulations, which are meant to cause them, you know, to come to that point of conviction and correction, they refuse to turn back to God and turn away from their sin.
Wow. Well, the question is there. Are they trying to open up portals and doorways? For what reason, we don't know. We can always guess and have theory. But if we follow biblically, spiritually, the only reason you'd want to do such a thing is to gain power and to unleash some type of a hell upon our earth here and bring in these dark times, which I believe will only happen when the Lord is ready. Nothing will be against what he wants. So whether you want it or somebody else wants it, that's not important. What's important is when God wants it on his time, not ours or anyone else's. The Lord will decide when the time has come. And I pray to the Lord that, you know, we get some peace before we get any more turmoil. We've lived with turmoil for a very long time, Jesse. It's a crazy
time for it to stop.
You know, we need a little bit of peace. You know, it's always poisoned from, you know, the food to the music to the movies to the film, but it's all falling apart at the seams. The music industry, the P. Diddy situation, actors, what's happening, everything is being revealed. The veil is being lifted. Are you kidding me? People are going to jail. A lot of things are happening to these evil people. And tomorrow, if you're watching right now, folks, is the election.
Big day tomorrow. That's right.
A new president is going to be, well, they say nominated, but I believe selected. And a new president is going to make a lot of change, and hopefully for the better. So whoever that president may be, we hope that the Lord intercedes to protect us, the people. Can I say that?
That's right. Absolutely. And I think, you know, get out there and vote. And I think the other thing to keep in mind is that as we see all this, you know, transpiring and stuff, we need to make sure that, you know, our hearts are right where they need to be. You know, are we focused on, you know, the things that are good, the things that, you know, that peace doesn't just come. You know, we have to be the ones who stand up for what is right. You know, we have to make those decisions. We have to, you know, make our communities those areas that are safe for children and for other individuals. So there's a lot, you know, there's a lot that we can do to impact these days, you know.
Be kind, be courteous.
Yeah.
Be nice if you can, guys. Make someone smile. Go to a supermarket. Raise their vibration. I think the more combined kindness, love, compassion that there is, the bigger heart you have, the more will happen to this world. Not just for you and those around you, but the world in general. I think the more love there is, the better it'll be for all of us. Listen, I don't think we're born evil. I think we're all born, even if you belong to the elite or anything like that, I think of love, and we are taught to hate and to be angry and do bad things. Something pushes us. We see something where, you know, someone does something to us. We want vengeance. It's sad. It truly is. But I think all of us can make a change together. Energy is power, guys. Energy is power. Not New Age stuff, guys. I'm being very real with you. It's been 13 years.
It really is. You know, I mean, we look at the days of old, and we have the same authority. You know, the signs, the miracles, the wonders. And this is the time for us to live in those miracles. You know, are we speaking out the, you know, be healed to each other? You know, are we raising the things that are dead, in our lives back to life, the good things? And are we, cleansing the lepers and casting out the spirits? We have the authority to walk in the greater than these miracles. And are we doing that? This is the day to do it, not to say, oh, I've never done it. This is the day to start saying, Lord, in our day, our age, what are the good works you're preparing for us to do? Let us do it.
It's going to be an interesting time, I will say, but I'm saying to raise your energy. And what I mean again by that, love, forgive, laugh, smile, have fun. Do not allow them to harness your energy and use it in a negative way against you. You are powerful, every single one of you. Yep. Your energy combined with millions and billions of people could change things for the better. So we pray and we thank and we give glory to God Almighty to watch over us during this time. We do not allow them, or I give permission or authority to affect me, my family, my friends, to open up portals or gateways to affect the beautiful people that we have all around us. And I may not know all of you that are watching this show, but I wish upon you and your family glory. I wish happiness. I wish healing. I wish greatness upon you, and that, if there's something going on in your lives, that you feel better, but we can only do that on our end. You got to do that for yourselves, not just us or us praying. You got to make it happen. So get out there, smile, go to the park, go for a walk. And guys, if you see someone having a bad day, what does it take to say, hey, you look great today. I love your shirt. I love your jacket. Hell, I like your smile. Even better, I hope you have an amazing day. God bless you. It's that easy, guys. I want to thank you for all joining us today as we dived in a little bit into the Skinwalker Ranch. And we're going to have a special Q&A following this show on Patreon. The link is in the description underneath. I hope you guys appreciate it and you're here to watch every Monday. Our new season is here, and we're on Mondays, no longer Fridays. So please join us. And before we sign off, Jessie, anything you'd like to add or say to everybody watching?
Yeah, I'll talk about my website here in a second, but I want to finish with what I started with, George. That secret thing that you can try to grow your beard and stuff. And I don't know, maybe if you've got skinwalkers or things, you can put it around your property. But castor oil is what I hear grows beards. So I'm curious to see if that works or not. You just put it on every night and it should fill in those spots for you and make it come in really nice. So
all right, thank you for sharing that. Castor oil.
Yeah, that's right. I encourage people, you can follow me on kingdomlivingwithjessie.com. On there you'll find my books, the different courses and series that I offer, and be watching because I'll have my new one coming out hopefully within the next few months here, and that's going to be called Faithful in All His House. So I encourage you to watch for that.
Excellent. And guys, don't forget, this Wednesday, we're doing the post-election special. Kim Goygan will be here. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it and what kind of information she might have to share with everybody. So Wednesday, right here, 8 o'clock Eastern on YouTube. Please join us. And right after this, guys, we're going over to Patreon. So join us. We're going to do a special Q&A. And if you have some questions for myself or Jessie, feel free. Again, I thank you all for watching. Get outside, get some fresh air. And most importantly, do not let the media in the next 24 hours change your personality, your aura, and your emotion. Stay positive. Yeah. Give thanks and praise to God Almighty. And we'll see you Wednesday. Good night, everyone.